Hey guys, the Huntress has entered the secret sanctuary. Let's see if the production piece matches up to the prototype. Okay, picture this. It's August 24th, 1977. You walk into your local 7-Eleven or drugstore, you spin the rack of comics, and you see two that spark your interest. One is All-Star Comics number 69, and the other is DC Superstars number 17. These two comics literally came out on the same day. The Overstreet Price Guide lists All-Star 69 as the first appearance of the Huntress. It also lists DC Superstars number 17 as being the origin of the Huntress and her first cover appearance. I think this distinction that Overstreet has made is a little bit murkier. I would think either comic could be listed as her first appearance. After all, as I said, they came out on the same day. So in order to have the Huntress's first appearance, I think you need both comics. But if you're a purist, you have to go back 3 decades before that, because the true first appearance of the Huntress in the DC universe is Sensation Comics number 68, which came out in 1947. At that time, she was not a superhero, she was a villain. And her costume was quite similar to the costume that the cheetah wears in the recent Sideshow cheetah statue. Very similar, in fact. And not long after, she actually was renamed Tigress. And at that time, she switched over and became a hero. The way it happened was, as I said, she did appear as the Huntress in the Golden Age. And then in the late 80s, Roy Thomas refashioned her as Tigress in the comic Young All-Stars. And those stories, although they were written and published 4 decades after the Huntress's first appearance, they take place before her appearances in the Golden Age, which, like I said, started in 1947. But in Young All-Stars, she's fighting Nazis in World War II. But it's the same character. Her name at that time was Paula Brooks. It was not Helena Wayne or Helena Bertinelli. So that's a basic history of the Huntress. She's a very cool character. Her costume has evolved, as you can see, over the years. So let's take a look at the statue. I started this review by asking the question that we ask of every statue prior to its arrival. Will the production piece match up to the prototype? We've been looking at prototype photos of this for a year. I saw it in person at San Diego Comic-Con last summer. But it's all about the production piece. And frankly, I don't see a difference. This is a really well done statue. It's not a super complicated statue. Last week we had the Dark Knight Batman, which has an immense amount of detail. This one is a little bit more simple, so maybe it's easier to get it right. But they really did. It's a very, very nice statue. Her portrait, come on, her portrait's just beautiful. And I think that's what really attracted most of us to this statue when we first saw it, was how well the portrait is done. This is the regular configuration with the staff. Staff's pretty long. I'll give you a close-up of the base. The base is fairly short. It's a good height, but it's quite wide. The base is larger than the Batgirl base. You can see the significant difference between the Batgirl base and the Huntress base. And it's a little bit bigger than Power Girl's base. But I think they look great together. So I'll give you a few more close-ups. good detail on those straps and on the thigh-high boots and her various pouches on her belt. Great eyes. How close can I get and remain in focus? I'm not a big fan of fabric capes. I like all sculpt. That's just me. It is nice to be able to change up the cape on a fabric cape, but I'm always going to prefer sculpted. I do wonder, how is the white that borders this cape, how is that going to wear over time? Is that going to get yellow, or any kind of wear going to show up on that? It looks great right now, but I do worry how it will age. "700 push-ups a day." It was an interesting choice to have the, I'm not sure if this is a gargoyle or a dragon, or it looks like a dragon to me, but to choose to have the head near the back side of the base is an interesting choice. You don't really get a sense of that from the front. Okay, I'm going to change the configuration to the exclusive so I can spin this thing. I can't spin it with the staff in her hand. Quality control on this piece seems excellent. I can't find any problems with it at all. The colors are really nice. The purple really jumps out. It's a much larger cape than on either Batgirl or Power Girl. She looks good from every angle. Okay guys, that's my quick and dirty review of Sideshow Collectibles Huntress. I think you're going to be really happy with it. I hope you have it coming. I hope you ordered it. The exclusive is very cool with the 2 crossbows, but not essential. The crossbow and staff is also a really cool statue. And these days, with rising prices, it's a pretty good deal compared to a lot of other stuff we're seeing. So, good job, Sideshow. Excellent statue. I will add, and this is all personal opinion, I'm going to rant a little bit, so bear with me. But I have noticed that with Sideshow's female statues, for example, Batgirl, Huntress, Power Girl, there's a certain look at my body quality to these statues, which is cool. It brings in a lot of collectors. I know a lot of collectors collect for that reason, the cheesecake factor, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it doesn't tell a story. And I'm becoming more attracted to statues that do that. Best example being the Dark Knight Batman that came out last week. Nothing tells a story like that statue. It's phenomenal. So when I see things like the recently revealed XM Studios Batgirl and Lady Sif, those are women, they're fierce. They've got their weapons out, they're leaping forward, they are intent on destroying their adversary, and it tells a story, or it invites you to imagine a story, which is even better if you have to come up with a story yourself. There are many paintings like that where you imagine the story in your head. These museum poses, they don't really do that. I mean, these could be the cover of a magazine or them on a runway showing off their latest costume. So while it's beautiful, and each of these is beautiful, it doesn't tell a story for me as a collector. So my collecting habits are evolving. If I didn't have a space issue, it wouldn't be a big deal. I could collect both. but as it is, as these pieces come out in the next few years, I might be parting with some of these pieces that aren't as interesting to me. So that's my rant. I won't go on anymore. But again, if you've got it coming, you're going to love it. It's a great statue. So if you enjoyed the video, please like it. Please subscribe. I'll be back in the near future with a new review. Actually, what I'm going to do is redo my review for the Man of Steel from Prototype Z. It was the first review I ever did. If you've watched it, it's god-awful. It's a horrible review. So I'm going to delete that and redo it, give you more information. It's a special statue. Only 150 were made. And it's great. It's, I think, the best Man of Steel statue by far. So look out for that. So happy collecting, guys, and I'll see you soon. Have a good night.